There are a few names in Bordeaux that are recognized as the bad boy, the guy who breaks the rules, or challenges the rules, I should say. I wouldn't say break the rules, challenges the rules. And there's no other name than Jean-Luc Tournevin and his wife, Marielle Valandraud, that fit that mold. Back in the early 90s, Bordeaux was going through some rough times with some of the worst vintages ever. And in 1989, which was good vintage, Jean-Luc bought a very small parcel of land in what is called the Val de Fondbegon, which essentially is a little valley area that is where Pavie-Macan is on one side, and then you have Troplong above, and on the other side you have La Prairie, and I forgot the other one, Le Clot. So he bought this little property, 0.9 hectares, or no, 6 hectares. It's just over an acre, small. And he treated it like a little garden. And he, in 1992, produced a wine that was in one of Bordeaux's worst vintage. But he got the notoriety because that wine was spectacular. And the story goes that a negotiant named Jeffrey Davies, who's a dear friend of Wine Exchanges over the years, was kind of a pioneer negotiant back in the day, and came into the store with this wine that was costing somewhere around $60, which at that time was about the same price as the first growth. And he came in and poured the wine for Kyle and Steve at the time, and they were blown away. First of all, they looked at the vintage and go, "You gotta be kidding me." Then, who is this guy wanting, the same price as a first growth for a wine? But when they drank the wine, they bought everything. And it was hot as balls because then the Wine Spectator did a big article on Jean-Luc, and Valandraud became a name. So as the years went on, he acquired more land and upped his production and essentially made the wine in his garage in Saint-Emilion. And that's where the whole garagiste movement came from, and Jean-Luc was the pioneer. So then you had other brands like Gracia and a few others that were doing the same thing. Later in life, he was a negotiant, his wife was the winemaker, and he started to acquire more properties. And one is he moved Valandraud out to the plateau of Saint-Emilion, where now they have a 25-acre plot and a brand new facility, and that's where he's now making the wine. But today we're talking about Virginie de Valandraud, and Virginie is Jean-Luc and Muriel's daughter. They also have a wine called Virginie Tournevin, is another great little, we sell it for like $13, and it's a killer wine. But we're talking today about Virginie de Valandraud. And what this is, it's not necessarily a second wine. This is actually, it comes from specific plots in the Valandraud vineyard. And it's one of the only second wines that's actually a Grand Cru Class A on its own, which is very, very rare for Saint-Emilion. So Virginie Tournevin is a blend of 80% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Franc, and it goes through all the same treatment as Valandraud does. It is aged 20 months in brand new French oak barrels. That's 100% new French oak, which again, for a wine, a second wine, if you want to call it that, is quite rare. The other thing about this wine is when Kyle and we went to Valandraud and tasted wine with the representative from the chateau, and we tasted it with Valandraud, and it was almost like it was splitting hairs between the two wines. Valandraud is a $150 bottle of wine, and this is $42. And really, it was splitting hairs. And so we had the representative here, and we did a lunch last week. We had 4 vintages of Valandraud and Virginie Valandraud. And again, not to take anything away from Valandraud, it's an awesome wine, but this wine hung with it. It was that good. 95 points, 94 points, so it's got the scores. Donna called this the best Virginie that he's ever tasted, better than the 15 and 16 and 18, which are all great vintages. And like I mentioned before in some of my previous reviews, 19s are, they're just really tasty wines that I don't know if they're ever going to shut down. They've been tasty from the get-go, and every time we go back and taste these 19s, same thing. They're just delicious. Loads of fruit, supple tannins that are sweet. Just bursting with just blueberries and blackberries, and like I said, tannins are very well integrated in this wine. It's just really well integrated, and again, for the price, for what it is, the people behind it, it's absolute great value. I don't know what else to say, man, but this is a kick-ass bottle of wine, and you know what to do.